Hey everyone, and welcome back to Dallas Cowboys coverage after an excellent Thanksgiving Day win. Cowboys did it all on Thanksgiving. They made it a nice one for all fans. So, I'm just gonna dive right into it. It was a great game, and it started with Dak Prescott. He's been so good over the past few weeks that he's seriously inserted himself into the MVP conversation. I think some people, will hate. He's Dak, it's the Cowboys, and I get it, but it's undeniable what he's doing right now. He's been incredible. He's been doing everything right in the past few games. He's nearing 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's just really, really been strong, solid, hasn't been turning the ball over. He's been scoring touchdowns. The offense has looked better than ever. And it's been impressive. He talked about how it's the most comfortable he's felt in the Cowboys offense. And I think it's looked true. I think it started off kind of slow, the McCarthy offense, but I will say, and I will credit them, they made adjustments, something I was concerned maybe they wouldn't do, but they did, and it's shown. So, the defense was great as well. I mean, there's really nothing to complain about in this game. Dak was awesome. CeeDee Lamb had a touchdown. Not again, last few weeks not quite as crazy as about a month ago, but he's really been super solid. Brandin Cooks has really gotten back on track, kind of finding his place in the offense. I still wish Michael Gallup could kind of step up a little bit more. He's had a few plays here and there, just hasn't been the consistent Michael Gallup we've seen years past. So you know we can't have it all, but I do hope that he can continue to kind of find his way and get back on track. Um, Turpin looked really good in his catch. We saw the whole Salvation Army celebration. Dak with the turkey leg out of the bucket. It was awesome. It was just a great game. Just fun to watch. Jerry talked about how it was one of his favorite games ever. I'd like to see a Super Bowl be the greatest game ever, but nonetheless, it was really a solid game. But now, before I get into the rest, I think this is where the real challenge begins. We talked about how we think the Cowboys can go 3-0 in these last 3 games, really inferior opponents, and they blew them all out. You can't ask for anything more than that. But now, here comes the challenge. I believe your next 4 or 5 opponents are all over 500. You've yet to beat a 500 plus team this year, given that was the Niners and Eagles, which, is fine. But this is where the test is, starting this Thursday against the Seahawks. Shortish week, just because you never got that full rest. Never understand why they give us back-to-back Thursdays, but it is what it is. So, it's not going to be easy. The Seahawks game, I think, is very winnable. I think that's a good way to kind of get started. But you have a tough schedule coming up. You have the Eagles again. You have the Bills, who are, interesting, but they're still a strong team. Dolphins later on. You have some challenging games coming up. This is the most difficult part of the Cowboys schedule this season coming up, into December. So this is a test, It's time to prepare for a playoff push. Obviously I'd love to catch the Eagles. If only the Bills or Chiefs could have beaten them, that'd really help us out. I'm not giving up hope there, but it starts with us winning. And, especially once we play the Eagles ourselves, we got to prove that we can beat real teams. And, this game was great, truly. Pollard has even looked better, I would say. He's been back on track, kind of getting those yards per carry up, breaking tackles again, starting to look more like himself, Hopefully that can continue, and as we continue to establish the ground game, the offensive line has been excellent. I believe they haven't allowed a sack in 3 weeks. It's insane what they've been able to do. Obviously, had some troubles. Terence Steele really looked pretty off, as he continues to rehab, I guess, from the ACL. Not rehab, but, just kind of get back on track. This offensive line has looked so solid. Finally, you have your 5 healthy, and it feels like they're really starting to get that chemistry, that fluidity with the rest of the offense. So it's really been good to see. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. Micah Parsons switching over to the defense has been so good, kind of reinserting himself into that defensive player of the year conversation. Not that he ever lost it, but, I think there's some inconsistencies, but now he's really starting to put it together week after week, and that's what you like to see, guys stepping up. And that's, been the story all over this team. The defense has been incredible. DaRon Bland, got to give him a big shout out. He is now the NFL record holder for most pick sixes in a season with 5. And we're only 12 games in. It's incredible what he's done. 12 weeks, really. Only 11 games for the Cowboys, but he's been incredible. This is reminding me of Diggs a few years ago with his interceptions, but Bland breaks an NFL record. And to me, he wasn't the best in coverage in this Thanksgiving Day game. I'll throw that out there. But what he has done throughout, the entirety of the season has been nothing short of just astounding. To me, I think it's a crime that he's not leading the Defensive Player of the Year odds. They don't usually like to give it to cornerbacks, but you look at Stephon Gilmore's season that he had a few years ago, Bland is matching that. And, maybe Gilmore's mentoring has helped him out, but he has looked so good because of not just the interceptions. By the way, he had 7, 5 of them being pick sixes, but his coverage. That's what stood him apart. We always talk about Diggs a few years ago. So good with the interceptions, ball hawk, but was burned in coverage. Allowed, I think, 700 some yards that year. Wasn't over 1,000. I think that stat was overblown. But what Bland has done so quickly, this is his second season. It was also Diggs' second season, and I think it was like, he's still growing. He's still developing. Don't, overjudge him there. But what Bland's doing this quickly, it's incredible. I mean, is allowing, at least as of prior to last week, the lowest passer rating of any cornerback in the entire league. I mean, it's all the stats are there in coverage. I think he's the highest graded in man coverage in the entire league. I mean, it's been incredible what he's done. Not just with the turnovers, but with coverage as well. To me, he's the best all around cornerback in the NFL at this particular moment. It sounds crazy to say, a fifth round pick just a year ago doing what he's doing is absolutely incredible. And I just, can't oversell it because there's no but in here, like maybe you can say there was with Diggs. Shout out to him, though, just how much he's improved in coverage. And I can't wait to see both of them back after Diggs is back from his ACL injury. But what Bland is doing this early, second year, former fifth round pick just a year ago, it's incredible. I mean, I just don't even know what to say. He'll be a Defensive Player of the Year finalist, I think, at the very minimum. And just to do that at his age, his draft, place it's nothing short of astounding. So much credit to DaRon Bland, and he is now an NFL record holder. So, something's going to be sent to the Hall of Fame from that game. It was incredible. It was incredible to watch. He wanted that touchdown. The way he just got through everyone. I thought he was going to get brought down. No, Bland wasn't going to let it happen. It was incredible to see just the reaction of the teammates. Dan Quinn up in the stands, Mike McCarthy. It was an incredible game, and I think that sort of summed it all up. It was incredible all around. Shout out to DaRon Bland. So moving to special teams, Brandon Aubrey did miss an extra point. I wish he wouldn't do that, but made a 51-yard field goal, so I guess it kind of makes up for it. Brandon Aubrey's been great, though. I mean, obviously, you want to fix those extra point things. I mean, it happens. He's a rookie. But what he's done, also now an NFL record holder for most consecutive field goals to begin a career. He did that a few weeks ago, actually, but he's just kept it going up. It's incredible. I mean, a soccer player, really. I mean, played in the USFL, obviously, but just what he's done, again, so quickly. He's a rookie in this league. I mean, he's never played professional football. I mean, like I said, he was a soccer player in the MLS. What he's done transitioning to the kicker position, obviously, in the USFL, and now on the biggest stage, the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys, that pressure, everything, he's just been so solid, so incredible. So shout out to him. Shout out, I guess, said already, to Turpin with his touchdown grab. Shout out to everyone. They feasted on Thanksgiving, and it was just so fun to watch. So anyway, though, coming back around, the schedule toughens up. I talked about it earlier. So how does this team respond with the tougher schedule, with these tough games ahead? Predict for me the Cowboys record for the rest of the season, even for the next 3 games if you'd like. Let me know how you think this team's going to finish it out. And do we still have a chance at the NFC East? I believe we do, but the Eagles got to lose and we just got to win. We got to control what we can control right now. Obviously, really wish the Chiefs or Bills could have beat them. I mentioned it, but you can't control what the Eagles do. You can control what we do, what this team does. And we're going to have a date with them coming up soon, this time at our house. So it's going to be important. We can't be losing these games, even though it's going to be tougher. These are the teams. These are the opponents you're going to be facing in a playoff run. You can't be dominating the little teams. It's great. I'm so glad they are. But you can't just be doing that and losing to the big guys. They got to show that they can contend amongst contenders. And this team, I believe they have that potential. They have that ability. And this next stretch of games is really going to be telling, I think, of your chances for a real playoff run. So it's been a great season so far. They've dominated teams in a way that we haven't seen, I would say, ever. I think even in years past where they've been really good, even against, lower teams, they were close games. I'm not going to say that we had trouble, but, I think I've just never seen this team be so dominant. Even though it's little guys, we can beat them, we know that, but the way they have just, torn them apart and just played the complementary football in all three aspects, all three facets of the game, that's something you don't see every day, every week. But they've been doing it week in and week out. Now, they just got to apply it to the big teams. Obviously, you got to make adjustments. You got to prepare. It's not all going to be, these lower, grade quarterbacks. But the thing is, you have the potential. You've shown that you're able to do it. You just got to apply it. You just got to make adjustments and be ready for these, for these better teams. So I believe this team is capable. I believe that they can match up with all of the best. They just got to keep playing the way they have been, and they just got to, stick to the script, stick to the formula, but adjust. Obviously, new weapons, different teams. You're going to face some speed once you get to Miami. You're going to face arm talent when you get to Josh Allen. You're going to face pretty much everything when you play the Eagles. You have to adjust for these things. You have to be ready. This team has the ability to counter them. This team has the ability to compete with them. They just got to be prepared. They got to be ready. And, it starts right now on Thursday against the Seahawks. This is the first challenge, step one. And we just got to take it, get the win, and keep going forward one game at a time. So thanks again for watching. I will see you guys next time. I believe in this team. So it starts on Thursday, though. Thanks again for watching. I will see you guys after that game. And obviously, happy late Thanksgiving. Hope everyone enjoyed their break. And I will see you guys next time. Go Cowboys.